Hello, 4-3. Welcome to Topic 13, Extending Fraction Concepts. Today we're going to start with Lesson 13-1, which are fractions as multiples of unit fractions by using models. Today we're going to focus again on our fractions, and let's remember what a fraction is. A fraction is a part of a whole. And 2/3 is an example of a fraction. On the top part of the fraction bar is called a numerator. The bottom part of a fraction is called the denominator. The top part of the fraction, which is the numerator, tells you how many pieces you're taking out. The denominator is how many it's cut up into. Well, here's an example of a model showing unit of fractions. And a unit fraction is a fraction that describes one part of a whole. And a unit fraction always has a numerator of 1. Always. So if we look at this bar, it has a whole of 1 whole. And this whole is broken up into fourths. That's what the denominator tells us. So it's broken up into 4 pieces. So this is 1, this is 1, this is 1, and this is 1. If we added up all the fractions on the bottom, it would equal 1 whole, or we say 4 fourths. But this model only stops at 3 fourths. So what is an example of this model? Well, how could we create this to describe what is being done here by using multiplication in a unit fraction? So we could actually say 3 fourths is equal to 3 times 1 fourth. So let's see some more examples. Here's a fraction of 2/3. The denominator is broken up, is showing us that it's broken up into thirds, and that we're taking 2 out. Here's our unit fraction, 1/3. 1/3 times 2, 1/3 times what will give us 2/3? And we pull out the numerator, 2. So it becomes 2 times 1/3. If we see the next one, 2/5, our unit fraction is 1/5. 1/5 times what gives us 2/5? We check out the numerator, and it's a 2. 2 times 1/5 equals 2/5. Our denominator has not changed. Notice. Next one, 5/6. We see that our expression, they're giving us the 5, which represents the numerator, times, since we're dealing with multiples, we have our multiplication sign. Our unit fraction has the numerator of 1, and what is missing? The denominator. So we need to put a 6. So 5 times 1/6 equals 5/6. The next example is 9 fourths. Notice that this number is bigger than the denominator. This is what we call an improper fraction, which we've discussed in topic 12. So now we need to write an expression for 9 fourths. Since we're dealing with multiples, we need to have our multiplication sign. Since we're dealing with a unit of fraction, we need to have a 1 on the top. And like I said, the denominator doesn't change. So this goes 1/4. 1/4 times what gives us 9 fourths? We look at the numerator, there's a 9, so we put a 9. 9 times 1/4 equals 9 fourths. The next example is 6/6. And we remember that 6/6, or any number that's the numerator is the same as the denominator, always equals a whole. How are we going to make this look as the multiple of our unit fraction? Well, we have our multiplication sign. Our denominator doesn't change, so it's a 6, so we need to put a 6 here. And since we're dealing with a unit of fraction, we need to put a 1. We check out the numerator, and it's a 6, so it becomes 6 times 1/6 equals 6/6. The last example is 9/6. Again, an improper fraction, because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So we need to set the expression up. We put the multiplication sign, put our fraction. Since we're dealing, again, we have our denominator is the same, we put our denominator here. Since we're talking about a unit of fraction, we're going to have the 1. So how many 1/6 do we have? We have 9. So it becomes 9 times 1/6. That's basically saying we have 9 groups of 1/6. Okay, now it's your time to try this out. Let's see how much you have learned. Try the improper fraction of 8/5. Give me the expression. The next one, 5/12. Now write the fraction as a multiple of a unit fraction. Try this one. 2/6 is actually given to you, a part of it. 2 times 1 over what? What is missing? The denominator is missing. What number belongs in the denominator? What about 4/4? Try this one. Remember, 4/4 is a whole. But please give me write the fraction as a multiple of a unit fraction. Well done. 4/3. I can't wait to see how we do tomorrow when we practice more of this. Have a great night.